Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk. My name is Frankie Olivo. Super excited for today's show. We got an amazing student athlete that will be here with us, and for the third week in a row, it's going to be a soccer athlete. We started off with Miss Denise Romero from Porter Lady Cowboys. Um, we followed that up with Miss Perez, Miss Shannon Perez from Homer Hannah High. And this week we will be featuring Brandon Montes from Porter, uh, the proud Porter Cowboys. Uh, Also, if you haven't already, I invite each and every one of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You could Google it. It's Sports Talk with Frankie Olivo. I'm trying to grow that page as of right now. This feed is shown on my personal Facebook page. It's Olivo Frankie. On my campaign page, Frankie Olivo for BISD Place 2. And on my YouTube page, Sports Talk with Frankie Olivo. So if you haven't already, I encourage each and every one of you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel as I am trying to grow the the page. Good morning, Paredes. How's it going? How's it going? Good morning, Cabrera. Talk UTSA football. We want Bama. UTSA did have a win yesterday. Very very exciting game. I wish I would get invited to a game, Mr. Cabrera, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's start off with local sports. We had a great turnout this past weekend for our Cowboys. Good morning, Mr. Benavides. How's it going, sir? Thank you for stopping by. Who are the Bears playing today? We'll be talking about that a little bit later, Mr. Benavides. Thanks for tuning in. We had a great weekend for our football teams. On Thursday, the Porter Cowboys defeated the Donna High on Thursday, 27-20, and it was an exciting game. It was a last minute defensive stop that led to the Porter Cowboys securing the win. Uh, Kevin Garcia had 4 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, and led the Cowboys to a victory. It was a great game, a very exciting game. So excited for Mr. Garcia, his team, and all the Porter Nation out there. On Friday we had several games. The Homer Hannah High, uh, traveled to San Benito and beat the Greyhounds 20-13. It was a great game. Coach Guest has a great team coming up. It's going to be very competitive this upcoming season. So wishing my Hannah Eagles. I'm already getting messages about about the scores. I'm wishing my Hannah Eagles a very successful season. We'll see how the season turns out. Los Fresnos, how's it going, Mr. Castillo? Hannah and Los Fresnos, both team 1-0. That's gonna be a great game, Mr. Castillo. Los Fresnos did beat the Rivera Raiders 38-16. Rivera has a tough opponent this week with Los Fresnos Falcons. So we'll be watching the Raiders to see um, how they how they deal with this upcoming season. It's going to be a short 5-6 games. So we'll be excited for the Rivera Raiders, and we'll be supporting our boys and our Raider Nation as the season progresses. The veterans barely won. They sneaked away with a victory, 14-3 against PSJA. It was a great game. Michael McHale as a slot receiver. Excited about the veterans. I will be attending their games uh, very soon. So we'll see how the season plays out. The Lopez Lobos uh, won. They beat PSJA Memorial 14-8. Super proud of our Lopez Lobos. Special shouts out to Coach Mando Gutierrez. Great football coach, great motivator, and super proud for our Lopez Lobos that are out there doing what they do. So special shouts out to the Lopez Lobos in the southmost area. Also, swimming, the Lopez Lobos placed second in points. The Lopez Lobos, they had an outstanding performance on their season opener at the Aquatic Center, the Margaret Clark Aquatic Center, in a tri meet versus Pace and Los Fresnos. Overall, our Lopez Lobos swimming team placed second with 176 points scored compared to Pace, who only had 50, and Los Fresnos, who came out with 268 points for this meet these a couple days ago. So special shouts out to Coach Raymond Martinez, and the Lopez Lobos. Super proud of all our BISD athletes. Super proud of our Lopez Lobos. So enjoy your second place uh, today, but got to keep on working, got to keep on grinding, guys. Good morning, Miss Arriaga. How's it going? Also, very quickly, we're going to be having an NFL player for the Jets suit up, who is a La Jolla native, Sergio Castillo. He was signed off the practice squad, and he will make his first NFL appearance today against the Buffalo Bills. So always exciting to have a Valley native suit up in the big leagues. So we'll be watching that game as well. And now for our featured story, a man who has many accolades, an individual, a great student athlete, a great person. He recently was awarded the Lower Rio Grande Valley Athlete of the Year. So super excited about today's show. Uh, Good morning, Mr. Brandon Montes. How's it going, sir?
Good morning, sir. I'm really, really good today.
Awesome. First and foremost, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation. For many that don't know, the reason why Sports Talk was created was so we can highlight, promote, motivate, and encourage our community to know about the great student athletes that we have here at BISD. And you personify that, Mr. Montes. You are a great person, great student, but more importantly, you're a great student athlete. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
Oh, thank you.
First and foremost, please inform our community, who is Brandon Montes?
Brandon Montes is from like a family of three, four, I mean, and I'm the only boy, so I'm kind of like an overprotective by my mother and my dad. And well, do you want me to like start talking about how I started playing soccer and stuff like that?
Sure. Let us know your story.
Okay, so I don't remember really well because I was really young, and I think I remember telling my dad, "Wow, like it's because my dad would always see soccer games, right? He was a big fan of Guadalajara Chivas." And so I remember one day being in the TV with him, telling him, "Dad, I want to play soccer, right? I want to make you proud." So after that, I remember searching for teams around by Ringgold Park, and I think that was 5 years old when I started playing soccer. And I remember feeling like the pleasure, like playing it and being in the field, scoring goals. Since at that time I was a forward, I enjoyed it really much, and well, up to this day, I still enjoy it. And it's one of my biggest pleasures to play and to be around with.
Awesome. As we all know, Mr. Montes, right now, currently, the world, the state of Texas and Brownsville, we are dealing with the um, COVID-19 pandemic. Um, in your opinion, where do you see this going? What has been your experience with COVID, and how that has affected your training since March, since BISD kind of shut it down and there hasn't been much activity? If you could talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, from what I know, the how we treated like COVID was really bad. It was like a we didn't do it as fast as we could, since there was like we didn't close everything down, and then many people didn't actually follow the rules of the shutdown, and that led to like continuing way more than it should have. And well, it affected my training by I would usually go practice with my friends and stuff like that at the park, but with COVID, since many parks like, they were closed down, they didn't want us there. So all I could do was train outside my house or like go run around somewhere, right, where there was no people, wear a mask. And I couldn't do a lot either way because my parents were afraid for me to get it too. And I would just, I think it was like almost like 2 3 months I didn't do anything since the law also wanted us to just stay home. And that kind of like affected like my abilities for right now, which I'm kind of like a little bit sluggish. But hopefully we'll get everything will get better soon with this case and everything, and hopefully we'll get back to playing soccer soon for the season.
Aw- Awesome. Um, Chemistry. Uh, Working with a team, playing with a team, chemistry is very important. Do you think that will be affected since you haven't been able to be around your friends during the summer and preparing for this upcoming season? Is that something that you're worried about, or do you guys have a good leadership on your team that you'll be able to work through this adversity?
For this year, I'm actually like not to be braggy or anything, but I feel pretty confident because I feel like we're all really close this year. Like all the seniors, we're all the like even the freshmen that are like coming along, we're getting along really well, and I feel like it's a pretty strong bond team. And as for like the chemistry, I don't feel like that's gonna be a problem. I just feel like the problem will be us just hitting like practicing real hard and getting our techniques in a higher level to do really good this season. And hopefully, I will be like a great example for the freshmen and sophomores and be a leader in the field outside and inside the field. Encourage them to do their best, even in the class if they need anything help. And if they need help, I can just be around them and like just let them know. Be like a good example, a good role model.
Awesome. I want to go back very quickly to uh, talking about your upbringing. You said that your father loves soccer, and that you asked him, "Hey, I want to play." What has been your experience growing up? Where have you do you play all travel ball? How far have you traveled? What teams have you played on? And talk to us a little bit about the experiences that you have gained throughout your upbringing.
Okay, so all of my family members on my dad's side, they play soccer, right? They're a big, huge fan. So I don't know heritage. I'm not sure, right? Or maybe just around around the around being with them. I started playing, right. I had many teams. I'm not really sure how many, but I would usually play like 1 2 years higher than my year, and I would still do really good. So that kind of like attracted many teams to like try to like get me. And one of my like the recent team I'm in right now is Tiburones FC. There's like Coach Lalo Mata, and he was the one to help me get many experience because this organization from Mexico called Intercups. The first time they came, they saw me and they were like, "Oh wow, like really we really need you like in the team. We hopefully you can go." And that was the first time I went to Spain. I went to Spain. I went for 15 days, and I think I was 11 years old. I think I was 11, and that was like my first time being away without my parents or anything. Just like around a lot of people my age and just 2 to 3 coaches. So that's where like I kind of like started getting experience on how to be alone, like everything be around soccer. And that wasn't the only time I went. I also went that same year. There, I did like a really good job in Spain. Like I played against FC Barcelona, like a really high tier teams, and I got invited to go to Sweden for 30 days this time. And so it was even more time, and I managed to like that was the way where I experienced kind of like how to manage my money. Like I can take care of myself, and I matured a lot during those days, and I did really good. And those times we won in Spain, right? I think we won 4 plays against like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Villarreal, and I thought that was a really good job, right? And on Sweden, unfortunately, we won 3 tournaments, right? But there was a bigger tournament called Gote Cup, which is a Hyatt. It's like the biggest youth. It's like a World Cup for the youth. And well, we played many teams, but we unfortunately lost in the 16th round. And then next year we went, and I went again, and we won it for the, like 30 days again, and then we won it this time for like first place, and I was really happy with everything I've done there, and that's where I kind of like gained more experience. But that not only that, I also went to China, right? For
Wow.
Yeah, but China was like a whole different experience. It's Oh, first of all, I don't like Chinese food, so I'm just like I'm
What
not
did
sure.
what did you eat over there?
Well, there's McDonald's. I try to eat McDonald's like as long as I could, but I still have to like eat Chinese food, right? Because they supported like the tournament was supported, so like I was kind of like I had to eat it just to get my energy back, and that experience was like unimaginable. Like I can't. It's gonna be like something I always remember, right? And everything's different over there. You see everything they add spices. So every time the time I came back, I would smell like spices. You see people in the road like in the night talking, and it was we went to the Great Wall of China and many different places, and I really enjoyed that trip too. And yeah,
What Spain, Sweden, China. What can you tell us about the different styles of play? We always talk about la Liga MX, que tiene su estilo, su ritmo. Hablamos del MLS, que también es muy lento, que pasa el balón. What have you noticed in these three different countries that you've played in? What's the style of play?
well, it's like the one I appreciated most was the one in Spain, since they play like my favorite play style, which is like tiki taka, where they everything they do is just touch the ball, run, touch, move, touch, move, touch, move, and I think it is by far like the easiest one and the most hardest one to counter. And Sweden, well, Sweden is not really known for their soccer, right? So those were just like, you do your thing, I do my thing. And so like they weren't as competitive as the Spain one, and China also, right? But I appreciated the Spain one more. It was more competitive because there was like Barcelona, yeah, as I was saying. And even though we lost against them, I feel like we learned. I learned like kind of their play style, and I was like hoping I could bring it like over here to Porter, like use it too, right? Give my coach examples of like what I learned and stuff like that.
As a student athlete, it's very important for one to have a great support system. Uh, Talk to us a little bit about how your family and how your coaches have motivated you, encouraged you to to travel and to reach your goals.
It was the first one like to really support me like in this sport. That was my dad, right? Since he was a big fan, and I appreciate everything he has done for me. Cause like to join the team, you have to pay and stuff like that. So he would work, and I couldn't see him for because he works out of town, and I don't really see him a lot. And I just appreciate everything he has done for me, and everything I do is like for him. And like hopefully I want to make him proud one day. We're playing a D1 team and going to MLS stuff like that. And so both my dad and mom like really supported me, and as along the way I made coaches every time, but my coaches from Tiburones and some other more, right, actually still help me to this day, and they help me with like financial, with like just me if I need help with something, and they are always there for me, and like I appreciate everything. I appreciate everything they've done for me. Even my Puerto coach has helped me when I went to China. He helped me out too, with like with letting people know like, oh, this kid, like one of my students is gonna go play. I don't think I can like, yeah, help him out and stuff like that. And like I want to do everything I do here. I want to like hopefully make it big and like come back to my community and just like give everything they gave to me like back, and hopefully make it even bigger, stuff like that. And that's just one of my plans I'm doing.
That's that's awesome. It's always good for somebody to pay it forward. In life, we always need help, whether it's through family, through friends, through coaches. We always need that extra little boost, and it's always our responsibility that once we make something out of ourselves, to give back. to pay it forward. So that's very impressive, Mr. Montes, for you to already have that in your mindset that you won't forget the people that got you there. You won't forget where you came from, and that you want to one day give back to our community. So thank you so much for that. It says a lot about you, really. Um, Porter Cowboys. Talk to us a little bit about your experience at the Porter Nation, La Porter. You are a senior this year. How has these past 3 years been for the Porter Cowboys, and what has been your interactions with your teammates
Okay, so my freshman year,
and any accomplishments? I'm sorry, any accomplishments that the team has had.
I was really scared, right? Because I know Porter is one of like the biggest soccer teams here in Bronzeville with two state champs, and I was really afraid, right? I was like, what happens if like I don't make the varsity team? I don't want to be JV Dark or JV Light, and so I would really work like my butt off and like try to be there. And once I was there, when the varsity team, I was really like surprised about how they treated me, and like I was like, wow, like they want me to be a part of them, right? They want me to be there with them, even the seniors and help me out, and I just like kind of like fell in love with the system, like how Porter does it, since they're like always there for you, and like they treat you as family, not just like as a teammate. Even outside, like, oh, you want to go do this? Like, we're gonna go eat. You wanna go? And I'm like, yeah, like, like why not, right? So, and that helped me along during the years, right? My freshman year, we went to playoffs. We reached second round, and unfortunately we lost. But it's an experience, right? On the first year, I was like, okay, this is how it feels, right, to lose. This is like like a feeling I don't want to experience again, right? I want to reach somewhere far. And well, unfortunately, we came short too on sophomore year. We're losing the first playoff game, and along the way, right, I was feeling kind of sad since I wanted to go far, but we couldn't reach it, right. And I was feeling really like good about last year since we had a really good solid team. It was like the freshman and sophomore teams that were new, since we were most of them like my freshman year. We were like seniors and juniors already, so I was like, okay, maybe this is the year. But Kobe like messed it up for us, and we couldn't do anything about it. So hopefully, like all the experiences I learned during with being with La Porter and the soccer like program, like I could bring it along and just like help my new freshmen be a good example, right? And like let them know everything about how it feels, how it is here, and hopefully like this year, we can like make a good run all the way to state.
What's your upcoming expectations for this year? Who are the players that we should look out for? And what style of offense, what style of play would you best say signifies or resembles Porter Cowboys for this upcoming season?
Well, where you gonna see us touching the ball, like, cause that's what we do. Most of the players we have right now, we're not tall, we're not strong, right? So we can't play really competitive like that. So what we're gonna have to do is touch the ball, touch and move, and be fast as we can, right? And some players you should watch out for. I think our goalkeeper he's really tall. Isaac Acevedo. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", and he's gone to many places too. He went to Dynamo and stuff like that too. Um, another player you should watch out for is our new sophomore defense. He's a sophomore. He's really short, but he's a really good defender. I was really surprised with him last year, and his name is Jose Luis Perez, I think. Um, he really he really showed what he could. Even as a freshman, he really did an outstanding job last year. And another player you should watch out for is Eric Esparza, since like he's one of the hard working guys I know. Like you see him even during the summer, you see him like working at like trying his best, right? And I wish him the best, right? And he's the one I've been like talking to the most because he's also a really good student. He's one of the top 5%, and he's like up there. And I just want to wish like all of us luck and make our families proud and our school proud.
Who would you say in our district is somebody that's going to be competitive? Is there a team out there that you say, oh, we have to watch out for them?
Well, it's because the problem with that is that in season you never know what's gonna happen. Everybody could give you a surprise, right? I remember us saying like, oh, like those people like from Medcash or like stuff like that. And like, but even during the season, they give you like they give you a surprise, and they'll be hard to defeat, right? So I don't really want to like say, oh, who's gonna be our best competitor this season? Since even ourselves, it could be like we could destroy our team between like inside the team. So I don't really want to say like who's gonna be like the hardest to beat and stuff like that. I don't know if you understand me.
Yes, yes. Uh, it's always hard to predict what's going to happen, and you're absolutely correct. There are some teams that are going to come out, from out of nowhere that you had no expectations from them. What can we as fans expect from the Porter Cowboys from this upcoming season?
Well, if you go to our games, I'll promise you it'll be a really exciting game. Well, I would want to say you can expect us in playoff seasons. I'm pretty confident about my team like that. And from there, I can't promise anything, right? But hopefully we'll reach to regionals. And I feel like we can all the way to state two. Hopefully, with like all this COVID goes away and they let us like go out of city and everything. And hopefully we could reach like all the way up there.
Let's hope. I'm gonna bring up some pictures, and you tell me what we're looking at, Brandon.
Okay. Okay. So those are my Tiburones coaches. On the left is Coach Lalo Mata, and he's like the main coach from Tiburones. He's the one that invited me first to come play with them, and he was kind of like getting me a sponsor because I didn't have to pay for anything during when I went. And I'm really thankful for him because he's the one that actually supported me and everything. He was the one to push me like Brandon, you have the talent, just work hard for it, and everything will come down to it. And I appreciate him very much. To my right is Coach Jorge, and he's more like a huge soccer fan too, and he wanted to be a coach, right? Because his son plays soccer at Los Fresnos, and me and his son are really good friends. And he's also one of the coaches that I've traveled with to China because his son was also invited. He's one of the coaches that would take me to we will play where we want state like with like in the league Boisa, which is like Texas, but it's kind of like really weird. And I don't know, I'm not sure how it works. We want to stay, and he's one of the coaches that would take me everywhere, but like try to support me too, since he knows that me and my family like don't really have a lot of money, right? And I'm really thankful for both of those coaches, right? So that's why like, I would take pictures with them everywhere. I'd be with them everywhere, and they were the ones that would like actually be there for me most of the time, even up to right now.
Brandon, you're holding a trophy. What was the
So,
tournament? Where were you at?
oh, okay, so that tournament is here at Sports Park,
Okay.
and it's called Cinco de Mayo, I believe it was that one, which we invite many teams from the Rio Grande Valley, right, from McAllen. And as you know, here in the valley, there's like really competitive players. So many like soccer students from like Hannah, Lopez, that would compete in those with their outside teams before we were in high school. Since this was like I'm not really sure how old I was there. And thankfully we won first place. Right, we were able to defeat Mission from like Atlas Mission from Mission, right? Galactico, stuff like that, and many other teams.
Where were you here, Brandon?
Okay, so there I was in Sweden,
Oh wow.
and we. I also have some like the video of us like playing there. Well, that was a trophy for the first place, right? Gote Cup, the largest youth league World Cup tournament, and I was really happy that day since If I remember correctly, we had like 3 games before the finals, and then we were really close from like not being able to reach the finals because our train, since everything there works in like in train, like it got something happened with the train and we had to run, we had to sprint all the way to the to the stadium, and that was like when we won first place, and I'm really happy about it. It was in 2016, I believe. So okay, that one was my first trip when I was 11. I was in sixth grade, and I still remember. That was in a soccer stadium, Camp Bernabeu, which is the Real Madrid stadium. I'm not really a huge fan, right? But I had to take pictures because I was there. Um, and what the one I'm with next to me is Coach Tomas Campos. He was a ex selección Mexican player, and he would coach us there in that tournament. And I remember everybody from there too, actually.
So if Madrid's not one of your favorite teams, who is?
Barcelona,
Barcelona, Messi.
yes.
Tell us about this game. It looks like it was raining that day.
Yeah, okay, that was a really good game too. Actually, that was last year. That was during preseason. It was against. Okay. I can't really remember what team it was, but it was a really hard team. They tied against Valley, and you know how big Valley View was last year and past couple years, right? And I believe in that game we won 2-1. And I don't really like playing rainy days, but I had to play. It had to be done.
Uh, Brandon, you were awarded All Metro MVP for the 32-5A first team midfield. What does that mean to you as an athlete and as a person?
And so that means a lot to me since like out of many in like our district, many good players like people from veterans, Albert, people from Lopez, people from Pace. Like there was really many good seniors, and for me as a junior to be chosen like the All Metro MVP, like it just means a lot. It just means that like everything I worked for like is paying off, and like everything I couldn't have done it without God and my parents, right? And I'm just really thankful, and I feel like this makes me like I want this to make me a better person and like humble myself too, not grow, right, and just believe in myself.
Well, not only did you receive the All Valley Metro MVP, you were recently awarded the Lower Rio Grande Valley Athlete of the Year. And I previously interviewed Ms. Denise Romero, who also received uh, this same award. So it's remarkable to have both uh, male and female athletes of the year come from Porter Nation. What does this award mean to you, um, and what does it mean to the program at Porter?
Well, I feel like this award like it means like our soccer program for boys and girls because Denise is also like a really good girl and she's really good at soccer, and it just means that like soccer program is just not like a soccer program. It helps you outside the field too, being a good person, and then inside the field makes you like want to be the best. And I feel like it just proves like the point that like the soccer program is just a huge program, and like it makes you a better student, a better athlete as well.
Brandon, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
But in 10 years, I want to say I'm back here in Brownsville, coming after my college degree, right? Or coming after my college degree, being in an MLS team too, and helping my community out here in Brownsville, and making a huge change here in Brownsville too, right? I really love my city. I can't explain it in words. I just feel like it's one of the best cities here in the valley and in Texas, and I just want to like make this a beautiful city. And hopefully in 10 years, I want to see myself being like in an MLS team, working my butt off and trying to like help my community here in Brownsville too, and do as many like things I could.
Hey, Brandon, any special shouts out to anybody out there?
Well, it's because there's too many. If I could.
Quickly, quickly.
Well, I would like my special shout out to like my mom and dad, right, and my big sister for helping me out. I always like, well, my big sister's kind of annoying, but like I still love her, right? You know how she is. And a special shout out to my friends, right, Eric and Wolver, stuff like that from my soccer team, and my coaches as well as Lalo Mata and Jorge Hernandez. And he has a car lot, so you guys can support his car lot at J&H Auto Sales. You know, and I think that's it.
Once again, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Oh,
It's important for our community to recognize our student athletes. We need to do better to support, motivate, and encourage them throughout their seasons. I'm currently running for BISD. Hopefully, very soon next week, I will be elected, God willing, to be on the board. And I will be at all your soccer games, Mr. Montes. Also, I did promise that to Ms. Romero as well. So, but whether I'm successful or not, I will be attending your soccer games. So if you hear somebody very very loud in the stands with a matraca, that'll be me, Mr. Montes. So thank you once again for accepting this invitation, sir.
no, thank you very much. It means a lot.
You have a good day, and maybe sometime during the season, you could come back and we could catch up, and you can let us know how the Porter Nation is doing. How does that sound?
That sounds really good. Yeah.
Well, I just want to wish you luck in this upcoming season. I want to wish you luck um, in all your goals that you have set out. You have a good head on your shoulders. I want you to know that your Montes family, your family at Porter Nation, and hopefully now your family here at Sports Talk is here, willing to help you out in anything that you need. Just send us a message, send us a text message, a Facebook message, and we'll be there for you, man.
No, thank you very much. It means a lot.
You have a good one, Brandon. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great, awesome individual. Um, Great athlete, even better person. Brandon Montes, everybody. How's it going, Dario?
What's up, Frankie? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. A lot to talk about. Had a busy weekend. Local sports, but now we will be focusing on what's going on at around sports.
Before we even hop into sports, I hope everyone's having a very blessed Sunday. Frankie was talking about elections. So if anybody didn't know, early voting is happening right now. People are out there, get ready. If you're going to wait to election day, that's November 3rd, but early voting is open. Cast your ballot. You know what I'm saying? Your voice matters, okay? And it matters in the form of a vote. So vote for Frankie.
I appreciate that, brother. Let's get started with the NFL. The Green Bay Packers traveled to play the Houston Texans. The Packers are favored to win by 3. The over/under is 55.5. Who do you like and why, Dario?
I like the Packers, unfortunately, Frankie, in this game. The Texans Deshaun Watson's putting up, a stellar year. He had a couple interceptions, 13 touchdowns. Vice versa, straight to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is having a productive season so far with 13 touchdowns, like 2-3 interceptions. The big news for this game for the Texans is Aaron Jones, the running back for the Green Bay Packers, is out today, and he's averaging like five yards a carry, which is MVP caliber season numbers. So the Packers won't have their that rushing threat, but that O line might open up holes for their backup running back. But the Texans, I believe they're 1-5 or 2-4, something like that. They're struggling, firing Bill O'Brien, DeAndre Hopkins gone. Deshaun Watson's doing what he does, but it takes a lot more than one player to have a productive team.
I uh, I agree. The Texans are 1-5. Packers are 5-1. I think the spread is a little bit friendly. Hey Ali, how's it going? Eva, how's it going? Elena, uh, good morning, Zuri. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. I think the spread is a little bit friendly for the Packers. I anticipate it being a blowout, but then again, we'll see. The Packers have a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. The Texans defense, it's not that great. Their defensive line with J.J. Watt hasn't been as dominant as they've been in previous years. You are correct. Adam Jones, the dynamic running back, will not be suited up for today. I think he has a sore calf, if I'm not mistaken. So he will be out for today's
Shout out
game.
Eddie. Eddie got the
How's it,
pack, Frankie.
how's it going, Mr. Trevino? And he
Uh,
is he is a he is a Packer fan. You can see by his profile picture. How's it going, Mr. Trevino? Do you think that the spread is a good reflection of the final score? The Packers are favored to win by 3. I say that it's going to be a blowout. Um, the Packers have too much of offensive weapons for the Texans' defense. But we'll go ahead and see how that turns out. Aaron Rodgers has been playing lights out this season. I think he only has like 15 touchdowns with 1 interception, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a good start to the season so far for the Green Bay Packers. So I do have them winning big. And Raymond Martinez, good morning, Mr. Martinez. He has them winning by 2 touchdowns. So we'll see how this goes. But the spread is, I would say, it's in favor of the Texans, giving that Vegas expects for it to be a close and competitive game. But we'll go ahead and see how that turns out. And again, America's team. This is this
let's
spread is
go.
it's a pick 'em. The Cowboys will be traveling to Washington and play the Washington football team. The spread, not surprisingly, is Washington winning by 1. So it's kind of like a pick 'em. And Vegas has this as a low scoring game matchup with 44 and a half points. I would dare say that I would take the over. I think both defenses are not
Absolutely.
very good, not very good, and I do expect for this to be a high scoring game. So we'll see how this turns out. But who do you like and why?
Off the bat, I like the Cowboys. I'll tell you why, Frankie. I got the Cowboys today. Washington hasn't won a game since week 1 of the season. Okay, can you wrap your head around that? Week 1 of the NFL season, back in September, they haven't won. Every game they've lost since then, and they've lost every game by double digits. Except the exception is last week where they lost by 1 point to the Giants. But the Washington football team are not playing good football at all. And I'm thinking the Cowboys are going to capitalize that. The Cowboys are struggling also. One thing the Cowboys did last week, which I think is preposterous, is they gave their backup quarterback, the first start of the season. They gave they trusted the backup quarterback with 66 pass attempts. Starting quarterbacks in the NFL are not getting 60. What the hell are the Cowboys thinking giving their backup quarterback 66 pass attempts? They have Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield, and they're giving their backups. Starting quarterbacks don't have anywhere near that amount of pass attempts. But then we go to the other side of the football. The Cowboys are the last place team in the NFL in points allowed, which is the Cowboys may put up points, but they're allowing so many points. And they're like last or next to last in the yard in rushing defense. So that front seven, it had a couple injuries, but the teams they're playing, they establish to run the ball very well. Then opens up different things in the passing game. But the Washington football team, the whole NFC East right now is they may earn a spot in the playoffs, but by no means if they win, the Cowboys win the NFC East, they'll go probably at the 4th spot. by no means they're the fourth best team in the NFC. It just happens that with the seeding that they'll be the fourth, but by no means the winner of the NFC East is going to be the, you know what I mean? But the Eagles, we saw them win they had that Thursday game, a beautiful comeback by Carson Wentz. But if the Cowboys win this game, they'll have sole possession of the first seed here the first seed in the NFC East with the win. If they lose, it's up for grabs, the NFC East. Just so people know, the NFC East, even though we're saying these teams are pitiful almost, that spot for the playoffs is still pretty much up for grabs.
It's a crazy NFC East. It seems like nobody wants to take sole possession. Both the Eagles and the Cowboys. Well, the Eagles are 2-4-1. The Cowboys are 2-4. So this game, hopefully with the win, will bring us up with the lead in the division. Mr. Martinez says the Cowboys win big by 21. We'll see how that goes. He also says that we need to defeat Elliott, and I agree. But we've seen this, Dario. We've seen this, how Mike McCarthy, back when he was with the Packers, his ratio was, I would even say 65, 65-35 pass run, or even 70-30 pass run percentage. He is a pass first, offensive minded coach. It goes against what Jerry Jones believes in having a strong running game. We do not have the offensive line that we once had, a dominant offensive line due to injuries and things like that. So I could see why they are attempting more to pass the ball. But I agree with Mr. Martinez. I think we should have a more balanced offense because if we can't, we need to establish the run, because the run will open up the passing game. That's when play action starts coming into play. That's where the bootlegs start coming into play. So if we establish the run, we will have the defense up closer to the line. They will bite more on the fakes. So we need to do a better job of establishing our running game early in the game. That way we can get our passing game going. Prenden la vela para los Cowboys, please. We need it. We need
Absolutely, Frank. I agree with you. The Cowboys got to establish the run. The thing with Mike McCarthy is the head coach of the Cowboys. It would be no problem if he was a pass first or an offensive minded pass first head coach if they were winning football games. There's really no problems if the team is winning football games. There's problems when the team's losing football games, when they aren't moving the chains, when they're getting off the field on third down, when they're not putting up, they're not beating the team. So these things that you're addressing, I would say they're true. That I'm going back to my stat where they're allowing the backup quarterback 66 pass attempts. I don't care what your playbook is going in, you can't put that many pass attempts on any quarterback. I don't care if they're Tom Brady, if they're the greatest of all time. As a backup, it's just what is the playbook right now? This playbook's looking like, let's just go for a big play instead of just move the chains. Oh, there it is, buddy.
Speaking of Tom Brady, what's your take on Antonio Brown signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? We have seen previously how his time in Pittsburgh, with the Raiders, with the Patriots, has turned out pretty sour. Do you think this is a good pickup by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Let's establish who Antonio Brown is. Antonio Brown, when he was with Big Ben and the Steelers, they were talking about he's an all-time great. But this kind of mentality of Antonio Brown became a little bit of a diva and was throwing tantrums on the sideline, crying and knocking over Gatorade coolers and throwing his helmet, having a little bit of a tantrum. Ends up leaving the Steelers, talking tough on Twitter and IG. And then this won't be Antonio Brown's first time catching a pass from Tom Brady. When Tom Brady was in New England, Antonio Brown made a short stint there with the Patriots and productive. Tom Brady recognizes what kind of talent Antonio Brown has and the kind of separation and speed that Antonio Brown brings to the table. So when the Patriots picked up Antonio Brown, Brady was constantly feeding him the ball. He had the targets out of any receiver in that short stint. I love the pickup, Frankie. I loved it. I love the pickup, Frankie. I think Antonio Brown at this point of the season, and the Buccaneers are playing decent football right now. And I think with another target for Tom Brady, they got Gronk, they got Evans, they got Brown, they have Howard. I think they have all these targets, and Brady is not one to make mistakes. You know what I mean? I still have the Saints winning the division. We'll see how that goes, but the Buccaneers with picking up Antonio Brown is massive.
I think Tom Brady's relationship with Antonio Brown will help, contain him. I think he knows that this is probably his last shot at being in the big leagues. So I think it's a great pickup. You are correct. He is a diva. He is a diva who causes turmoil in the locker room. But I think with Tom Brady, being in his ear, he will be a lot more focused on football and not so much on everything else. I disagree with you. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the division and the NFC South. Yesterday we had the UFC fight, and Khabib won by a rear naked choke to improve to a 29-0 record. And after the fight, in his post-conference interview, he stated that this was my last fight. No way I can come here without my father. I promise it will be my last fight. If I give my word, I have to follow it. So Khabib did announce his retirement from the UFC, from mixed martial arts, with a perfect 29-0 record. Would you put him as one of the greatest light heavyweights in the sport, Dario?
He's a lightweight. Khabib's fought a lightweight. Frankie, not a light heavyweight. He's a lightweight. Also, he won yesterday's fight by triangle choke. Wasn't rear naked. Just for people that don't understand who Khabib is, Khabib's beaten them all. Other than Tony Ferguson, they never got a chance to fight. But Khabib's beaten them all, and he's beaten them all in convincing fashion. Khabib is a mauler. Khabib it's not even a fight when it's almost a sacrificial lamb that anyone that steps in, everyone goes in with Khabib doesn't know what I got, and Khabib this it. But Khabib goes in there, and time again, he'll take his opponent to the ground and beat them senseless. And sometimes, and in this instance, or yesterday's instance, he just happened to choke him out to unconsciousness. But Khabib, he's beaten Conor. He's beaten Gaethje. He's beaten name any lightweight other than Tony Ferguson. They never had a chance to fight. But the person that a lot of people thought that would give Khabib the hardest time was Tony Ferguson and Justin Gaethje, who Khabib just beat, knocked the brakes off of Tony Ferguson, had him messed up the whole time. But Khabib is just in that. Just looking at his most recent performance yesterday. The first round, there's a little bit of a feeling out. Established a takedown. Then early in the second round, Khabib got Justin Gaethje up to the ground. Quickly established a full top mount, a full postured up top mount. Khabib, being the connoisseur he is on the ground, kind of rolled over and did like a quick reversal and got himself on the back and had Gaethje between his legs in this triangle hold, and Gaethje ended up being unconscious. But that's just one of the many fights that Khabib has I would dare to say proven himself that Khabib does it in amazing fashion. He just mauls his opponent. So Frankie, answering your question, I would put him up there.
Velez says
what is that? What is that?
McGregor and Poirier, he's only beaten bums. Let's be honest. I think he is one of the greatest. His ground game is one like no other. I think this guy trained with bears, if I'm not mistaken, over there in Russia. But I think he's one of the greats.
sure. Yeah, and there's always talk. Well, yeah, his hands are and this, and his hands are whatever. Khabib knocked down Connor, straight up stand up. This just shows you the level of mixed martial arts that Khabib is at. You know, people say, yeah, but if he stood up against one-on-one Connor, yeah, guess what? When he did fight Connor, he knocked Connor down with an overhand right. So Khabib, you know, he may not be the greatest standing up, but he's never lost a fight. If I'm not mistaken, every fight has been a finish. So Khabib, yeah, you know, there's a lot of, if people want to throw what if and what if that and what if this and what if that. Khabib, anything that's been put on Khabib's plate, Khabib has mauled them.
Barbosa, La Quinta, Johnson, come on. Hey, man,
Khabib did beat Alan Aquinta. Alan Aquinta came up short notice, and Khabib mauled him. He really like beat him senseless.
McGregor landed a lot of punches on Mayweather.
Yeah,
Don't mean Jack. Yeah, but boxing and UFC are a little bit different. Khabib's mentality is to take you to the ground and submit you. But again, I personally, that's my opinion. I think he is one of the greats. It's a shame that but then again, who else is there for him to fight? So we'll see where that goes. And lastly, to finish today, yesterday we had a great World Series game 4. The Rays came back to win in dramatic fashion. So now the series is tied 2-2. The Dodgers will give the ball to Clayton Kershaw to try and take a lead in this World Series to get one game closer to the title. The Dodgers are favored to win, and the over/under is eight runs. Who do you like for today's game, Dario? And what was your take on yesterday's game?
Before I give my opinion, Frankie, what was going through your mind that last play? What was just
my thing was, I wouldn't expect for Mookie Betts to have that error. Mookie Betts is a phenomenal athlete. I think his eyes were looking at the runner and not at the ball, and that's something that baseball 101. You watch the ball come into your glove first, but that's the distraction. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh my god, he made a bad error, and then also the catcher was so quick on just to swipe the tag when the runner wasn't nowhere close. So I also think that Jansen, the closer for the Dodgers, I think he looks tired. He looks unsure of himself, and especially closers, you have to be mentally strong, because once you start getting doubts, that's when you have no confidence, and I think that shows in his body language. So I like the Dodgers. I like the Dodgers today with Clayton Kershaw, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Absolutely. I got the Dodgers today. If I could, I'll put the house mortgage on the Dodgers today, at least just for Game 5. But then again, you can make the case that without fans, that momentum from the last game, they could just write that. We saw that in the NBA bubble. We see that a couple in the NFL games without fans. Players can just write that way, and it's so great to see that the players now and the coaching staff, they have to like pump up their own team. They ain't getting fed energy from the crowd. It's great just seeing them play baseball like that. But big time step up by the rookie Arozarena. I can't think of the top of my head a time a rookie has made such a profound impact on the World Series. I can't think of it. He's like 12 RBIs this postseason. Slugging, I got it right here. Slugging percentage of .841, leading the team, leading anyone in the postseason this far. Corey Seager on the Dodgers is doing it on the other side. Yeah, but I agree with Luis that Roberts is doing something very flawed in the way he's utilizing the pitching lineup. Jansen, I won't be surprised if Jansen never. If I was a Dodgers fan, I wouldn't like to see Jansen come out of that bullpen. I wouldn't even like to see Jansen warm up in that bullpen. The way what the hell just happened. Yeah, Kershaw. I mean, it was a shortened season, so these pitchers don't have that massive workload coming into. So they're quote unquote fresh. They're a lot fresher with the shortened season. I love the urgency from both teams. I love it. I love the clutch decisions, but it just looks like the manager's making poor decisions that's costing his team. Yeah, it's errors, but they should have never been in that position. They had to lead going into the inning, bottom of the ninth. If your closer is doing what they're supposed to do, doing their job, they shouldn't even be in a position where it should be tied up or losing the lead. But that just goes to the urgency of the Rays that they're showing up, that they came to play, and that you give it a little bit of luck. You could give it a little bit of luck. That error at the plate. The catcher had it in his glove at Rosarena. They gave him this. They gave him the to keep running to home. That they waved him in, and unfortunately he slipped. But the catcher lost the ball, and Rosarena's stumbled, got up, and got that game winning run at the plate. So you got the Dodgers, Frankie?
I have the Dodgers. Rodriguez makes a good point that Kershaw has been horrible in must-win games. I think if the Dodgers lose to Tampa, if they lose tonight, Tampa will win the series. I do agree with him. Kershaw does have problems with must-win games, and his second starts usually aren't very good. I still think that the Dodgers offense is very, very powerful. Seager has been having a tremendous postseason, a tremendous World Series, and Mookie Betts as well. I think that will allow Kershaw's mistakes or lack of dominance to prevail for this week. So I have the Dodgers. I have the Dodgers winning tonight. Any final words? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Clayton Kershaw. We're kind of saying the same thing in Game 1, but Kershaw showed a bit. Had a stellar performance Game 1 of the World Series. I agree. I disagree with Luis. I don't think no bullpens are tired right now. They had a shortened season. They're quote unquote fresh. They're not really tired. It wasn't a long season from the spring or anything. It was a shortened season. But I'm not. I think that Kershaw's going to have a Game 1 performance again. I think Kershaw's going to be lights out, not allow no hits or whatever he did in Game 1. But one thing I would like to see from Rogers, I think it's Roberts. Excuse me, the manager of the Dodgers is if Kershaw's firing on all cylinders, leave him in the game. You ain't got to pull Kershaw right now. It's a seventh inning, and he's coming up on triple digits amount of pitch or whatever whatever the qualifying criteria are for a manager to pull their starting pitcher out the game. But if Kershaw's pitching well, I don't see a reason why you need to take him out. Looking at what Hansen just did, $20 on Tampa winning tonight, Frankie. Are you gonna take that, Frankie?
Yeah, I'll take that bet, Rodriguez. $20. I got $20 on Dodgers. You got $20 on Tampa. Let's see who wins. I agree. But again, we'll see how that goes. Last words, Adio?
Last words. Hope everyone has a blessed Sunday. Week 7 in the NFL. Let's see if Cowboys can turn it around. God bless. See you later. Bye-bye.
Once again, thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Sports Talk with Frankie Olivo. Google it. I'm trying to grow my page, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, making your comments. It means a lot to me. The reason for this podcast, this show, is to highlight the amazing talent that we have at BISD and within the city of Brownsville. So thank you so much, each and every one of you, for coming onto the page week in and week out and showing some love. Thank you so much. If you haven't voted already, make sure you do so. Early voting is until October the 30th, with election day on Super Tuesday, November the 3rd. Thank you so much, guys, for your love and your continued support. Ciao.